good? Yeah. All right. The Grand Rapids Town Board is meeting today, Wednesday, March 13th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the Town of Grand Rapids Municipal Building. First agenda item is Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, second agenda item is approve agenda for meeting. Any changes? Okay. Third agenda item is approve minutes of the February 14th, 2024 Town Board meeting.
I can make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Fourth agenda item is public comment. People wishing to address the board will be limited to 2 minutes each, with public comment limited to a total of 30 minutes. Okay. All right. Fifth agenda item is monthly reports from departments, starting with the fire department.
Evening board and residents, our report for February 2024, we're currently staffed with 44 members between fire and EMS. We're always looking for motivated individuals. Stop by the station or the department and see me if you have any interest. Last month we had 37 calls for service, 27 EMS calls compared to 22 last February, and we had 10 fire calls compared to 11 last February. Our calls broke down at 5 in Grand Rapids, 2 in Saratoga, and 3 mutual aid. The mutual aids were in Burin, Nakusa, Wisconsin Rapids. We had a false alarm, a motor vehicle accident, 3 wildland brush calls, and 1 carbon monoxide detector going off, and 1 landing zone for medical. Training information for the month of February. The EMS group did some training on splinting, Lucas refresher, and report writing. And the fire side of the house had their DNR wildland refresher with the Nakusa DNR. So we had 1 department meeting, 3 training meetings, 1 officer meeting. So public relations, we're again hosting we just posted it on social media today. Our Easter egg hunt will be at Midstate Tech Saturday, March 30th. It's always the day before Easter at 10 a.m. sharp, ages 0 to 10, and we'll have equipment on display from the police department, fire department, United Ambulance, Wood County Sheriff, Wood County Rescue said they'll be there, so we'll have plenty of vehicles for the kids to look at. And then also different public relation item, we decided to, we're going to try this election and probably the November election to hold an open house next door. When people come and vote, they can come next door and see our equipment, meet some of our people, and then we'll also be having a brat fry. You can have something to eat there or take something home with you. So we're trying something new. We posted that on Facebook today as well. I'll be getting some posters out. Smoke detector program, we did 6 homes last month. That continues to be an active program. And then the address sign program with the park and then the other people, there's 16 signs in queue. So, and then safety department report, there was 0 injuries to report in the month of February. Any questions from the board? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and police department.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Police Department handled 393 calls for service during the month of February. This compares to 303 calls for service during February of last year. That's about a 29.7% increase in calls and the board members should have a breakdown of those calls. The police department issued 52 traffic citations, 7 municipal ordinance citations, and 44 written warnings, and no DNR citations for the month of February. On February 3rd, the Grand Rapids Police Department participated in the 2024 Wisconsin Rapids Polar Plunge at Anchor Bay. Grand Rapids Police Department ranked number 14 out of 31 teams registered for the plunge, and we raised $1,248 to support Wisconsin Special Olympics. On February 4th through the 7th, I attended the Wisconsin Chiefs of Police Association, the 2024 Wisconsin Police Leadership Foundation Midwinter Training Conference in the Wisconsin Dells. Conference had another all-time record number of attendees for law enforcement executives, associate, and affiliate members. Training included create and nurture a culture of wellness, laying the foundation for suicide prevention, legal updates, Wisconsin Attorney General updates, and the Parkland Massacre through a police chief's eyes. It's provided a great opportunity to network and develop professional relationships with other police executives from throughout the state. Vehicles in the department are doing well outside of normal maintenance, and feel free, as always, stop by my office if you have any questions, concerns, or just want to stop by and chat. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
All right, and then treasurer update.
Okay, at the end of February, our regular checking account had a balance of $137,697.20. Our repo account had $649,189.39. Our money market account had $336,406.27. Our tax account had $722.55, with that repo having $2,920.81, for a total of $1,126,936.22. We had outstanding checks of $74,565.48. Our ARPA account has a balance of $193,345.21.
All right. Agenda item number 6 is consideration and possible action on event permit for Bluegrass at the Lake, June 6th through the 8th. And this is an annual event.
Can I address you?
Yep.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm going to have you guys take one of these, pass that down. I'd just like to say thank you, first of all. This will be our 7th year coming up, but we've always been a fundraising bluegrass festival, and we've raised funds over the years for the Muscular Dystrophy Association, Southwood County Humane Society, and last year for the first time we raised money for Wood County Critical Incident Stress Management Team, or CISM team. And Chiefs Pyatt and Peterson will certainly be able to address the benefits of what CISM does, but it's a way to help all first responders, be it volunteers or municipal departments throughout all of Wood County and the outside counties that provide mutual aid, to handle the trauma of the things that they see on the job. And we've been very happy to support them. And last year, we went to a community day on Saturday where we had, the morning was free and open to the public. They provided a touch-a-truck event for kids and families to come and look. We had a griddle cook-off contest that was free for people to watch. Contestants use their cooking skills and whatnot. That lasted for a little bit. They had separate raffles. All of the monies that they raised were donated to Bluegrass at the Lake, which in turn went to CISM. We also had a vendor fair, and we hold our festival, it's always at Red Sand Beach, okay? So we reserve both shelters. So all of that is kind of held out at the Red Sand Beach Pavilion. And then at the enclosed shelter, we have it fenced off, and we have a performance tent. And during that community portion, until 2 o'clock when our music starts, it's open to the public. So the public could come in, they could buy our raffle tickets, which we have usually a pretty good amount of, our merchandise, and then the Wisconsin Rapids Lions provide food and beverages for us. So that was all available for everyone. Then at 2 o'clock when the music starts, you need to have a wristband. But that was a great success, even though the weather last year was not particularly cooperative. We can't help. But nevertheless, last year we donated $12,800 to SISM. And with that money, they were able to train 10 new volunteers to do their debriefings and whatnot, which is amazing because it's a 2 full-day training event, costs $500 a day. So it's an amazing program for those folks to be able to help each other after trauma. So we're thrilled to pieces to be doing that again this year. So I've got some save the dates for the rest of you. I'll have you each take one. If you want to pass it on to somebody else, please do. We're a family-friendly event. Babies to 90-year-olds, and it's great. Music starts on Thursday night. Friday night at 6 o'clock, we have a fantastic band. I'd encourage you all to come. That day, the music charge is $25. Saturday, it's a $30 fee for the wristbands, but please come and support us and help us to help our first responders so that they're here for us when we need them. I do have a poster I'm hoping that you guys can hang up in the lobby someplace. And if you have any questions, the only thing I have to say is the liquor license, it's not, I mean, it is at our event, but the liquor license really is for the Wisconsin Rapids Lions. And so I just want to make sure that that's duly noted. Because we don't carry a liquor license, they do, and we partner with them. So it's no carry-ins because they provide the food and beverages. That's a fundraiser for them. So I just want to make sure that we're good on that. Any questions? No? All right. I hope to see you all here.
I'll make a motion to approve the event.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the event.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I can second.
Okay. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Agenda item number 7 is consideration and possible action for a temporary Class B liquor license for the Bluegrass at the Lake, June 6th through the 8th, 2024.
So the motion is actually for the Wisconsin Rapids Lions Club only, or is it, I see we have paperwork for the Bluegrass at the Lake as well as the Lions.
You can do it for the Bluegrass at the Lake. The application shows that, so the chief has gone through everything.
Okay, so it is for both. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the Class B liquor license.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Agenda item number 8, consideration and possible action on water event permit for aquaskiers to close Lake Wazeecha for the State Water Ski Show Tournament July 17th through the 21st.
I can make a motion to approve that closure.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Agenda item number 9, consideration and possible action on temporary Class B liquor license for the State Water Ski Show Tournament July 17th through the 21st.
I can make a motion to approve that Class B liquor license for the State Water Ski Show from July 17th through the 21st, 2024.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Agenda item number 10, consideration and possible action on Public Works lead person Mike Smith's request to attend WTA Spring Road School 2024 in Wisconsin Dells, April 30th through May 1st, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the request.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion?
I'm just very glad that you're going to that, Mike. Thanks for taking that time.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Agenda item number 11, consideration and possible action, recommendations from Public Works Committee for additional alternate solutions to the temporary closure of 45th Street South from Kellner Road to Wazeecha Avenue for addressing safety concerns at 45th Street and Kellner Road intersection and 48th Street South and Wazeecha Avenue intersection. Everyone on the board was at the meeting, but just to reiterate, the recommendation to the board would be to take the next steps to look at reducing the speed on Wazeecha Avenue between 45th Street, or 48th Street and Blueberry Lane to 25 miles per hour, and then a three-way stop at 45th and Wazeecha Avenue. And the speed would need to go to legislation or legislative committee, excuse me, and then the stop sign we can approve as a town board, but we'll do that if this moves forward.
So you're looking for a recommendation then? I mean, you're looking for an approval, actually, is what you're...
Approval to go to legislative.
Okay, to go.
Yep.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
What if something happens, like down the road, because the fact that we've reduced the speeds on Kellner Road both ways, and then also reducing the speed on Wazeecha, what if we see more of an influx of accidents on 45th down the road? I mean, that was the biggest concern of one of the reasons why it was closed to begin with. Do we have plans that we would then, of course, then readdress that, or, okay?
Yeah, that would be readdressed. The three-way stop and then the reduction of speed is hopefully, so the residents who live in that area will still be able to take that route, but then others hopefully will still funnel through the roundabout.
Okay.
Can I just clarify, is the three-way stop and the speed both going, or is the three-way stop getting approved and then the speed is just going to
No,
legislative?
we'll send the speed to legislative,
Okay.
and then at the next, if that's approved there, the next town board meeting will approve the three-way stop,
And the speed. Okay.
and then open it back up
Okay.
Okay, so 45th won't be opened as of yet,
until we make the
until
changes.
the changes
Yeah.
occur. Okay,
Right.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, so go ahead, Bill.
So, and that's what the committee come up with. And, you know, I don't see why it's going to take so long. I know we gotta go through legislative to change the speed limit, but the three-way sign, why not just open it up, see how things go when we do that? And I just think this is prolonging it. We closed it just like that, and we closed it for 6 months. Couldn't we just say right now, we're gonna just keep it closed one more month and then open it up? That's my thoughts on it.
Okay, Jason, did you have a comment?
I would like to suggest or somehow note if we do see an influx of traffic on Wazeecha Ave, some sort of way then, again, we're promoting our roundabout and our citizens getting back out of those two subdivisions, but I would like to see something in place if we start seeing an influx of vehicles that don't belong there.
I have something. You know, this whole thing, and I have the copy of the minutes of the Highway Committee that just met. They met March 7th. I wasn't at the meeting, but I talked to the chairman of it, Jake Hahn, who was chairman of the Highway Committee. And it was accusing the Highway Committee of all the problems we're having with that closure. And this is what was said. Hahn inquired about the road closure on 45th Street in the town of Grand Rapids, and if the county highway department had any part in the road closure. Hahn confirmed that the highway department had no part in deciding the closing of the road. I attend every one of these meetings, and I was at a meeting of the highway department when the chief of police was there and the chairman of the board. They were the ones promoting this to the county, and the county said, we'll help you out with signings and stuff like that. But I represent this area on the highway, on the county board, and I think that remark that they had everything to do with the closure of this and kind of screwed it all up is wrong, and I would like to make that point.
Well, the Public Works Committee for here, Town of Grand Rapids is the one that made the recommendation to close the road, so the highway department did not do that. And I have it reflected in the meeting minutes from the last Public Works meeting what the highway department gave us for information, and they by no means made a recommendation for that. All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
No.
Okay. All right. Agenda item number 12, consideration and possible action on options for expanding the municipal building's parking lot.
Can I make a comment on that?
On this parking
Yeah.
lot? Sure.
So we lost four parking lots, I believe,
Spots? Yeah.
because of the roundabout. And we have to extend the parking lot this large? I mean, what was that all about? I don't understand it.
Okay. Mike, are you able to speak to some of the documents we
I
got
guess the
today?
main reason is for elections and meetings where we have never had enough parking because people have been parking over at Bud's and Dan's with Pam. So the thought was that we would move parking over in the grass area, which has served no purpose since the trees have been taken down, allowing us more parking. We also get the blood drives, and there's no parking for the firemen to come in when they have a fire. So just the thought was a little more adequate parking instead of not having enough.
So did this come at a Public Works meeting? Or is this just from,
Well, we didn't discuss this at a Public Works meeting, but it's something that the weather is nice right now, so we wanted to, well, we didn't bring it here so we can make a decision if this is something we can move forward with rather than wait.
It was briefly discussed at budget time
Yeah.
during our budget meetings in the
Yeah.
fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't budget anything
No,
for that.
no, it was just discussed that
Right.
we'd look at it.
And I believe it was mentioned on our road trips too.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I know we have not budgeted anything for this parking lot, and I know we have some road work that's going to be coming up on Washington Street. You know, we have to use the LRIP for that, which needs to be, you know, started, and invoicing has to be completed by 2025, which would, I know we're talking about this parking lot and we've, you know, kicked that idea around, but I'm almost wondering if we should maybe wait some time on the parking lot deal because of the LRIP that we have, those funds that we have to come up with as well.
Well, the LRIP, that's an error, that document is in your packet. That's actually for next month, so I didn't realize that was still in the basket, so that's my fault. If that's why, if that's causing confusion having that there, that's
Yeah,
supposed
this
to be
is-
next month. We just got it today and I didn't realize it was still in your basket, so.
I think that one is for the.
This is the
too.
ARIP, but I'm talking about the LRIP
Yep.
that,
Yep, that
okay.
notice is in
That's
thing.
the bid notice we have in there. That's what we just got today. That's gonna go on next month. I thought that's what was bringing it up, because
Okay.
that was my mistake in having it in your packet.
so we're talking about the LRIP?
Yes. Well,
We're
not.
assuming.
we're talking about
We're
the
not
parking lot.
talking about
it now. I'm
These
just
just
talk-
happened to be in here, yes.
I'm talking about having enough funds, so we don't get in a tight and we spend the money on a parking lot where it would be more beneficial to spend it on a road. That was my concern and my question
I
about
think-
funding.
I think in some discussion, the cost of this is quite minimal. We already have gravel, correct, Mike?
Yep.
We could get this project kind of, while the weather is nice, get this somewhat laid out and
Can we do the excavating and just gravel it this time?
that was an option, wasn't it, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah. Another point is, sooner or later, we are going to get another building, a new building, maybe in my lifetime. So we need more parking, period.
I guess, Mike, just a question for you, if, you know, like Patty mentioned, if it was just gravel this year, you know, maybe once the roads bids are coming in and we kind of know what's left, how much duplication of work is there? If you gravel it now, but then it gets paved later, is there a lot of extra work done
No.
that you're taking stuff out that was put in?
No, it won't matter one bit when it gets paved.
Okay.
I guess the thought is to get more parking area for bigger events, and the estimate that they did shoot us in them quotes for the overlays and the road work we were gonna do is very, I shouldn't say very high, but it's higher than, quite a bit higher than what it actual cost probably will be. And I think just the pavement alone at 2 inches was bid at like 24,000 from through the county, which he says it probably won't even be that. He says it's probably substantial amount lower, so.
Just for the gravel and excavating?
No, just for hopper, just for the paving.
Pavement.
Oh,
Gravel, we already
24,000
own.
for the
We already
paving.
paid, we started the hour of work, so.
Our,
And we have the gravel.
We're doing, and we have gravel.
our guys, our PW department would do the excavating and basic install of the parking lot, minus the paving.
I'm just concerned about getting it blacktop when we have some of these other projects that are coming up, being overextended, that's all. I mean, I'm all for doing the excavating and the gravel. I would be okay with that part, to get that going. It would also give it time to pack down so that, you know, just make a better base for blacktopping by being driven on. Are you looking for a motion?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to go ahead with the blacktop, or the parking lot area, at this time being only gravel, excavated and gravel, no blacktop at this time.
I will second that motion.
Any discussion about that motion?
I guess a question, which option are you looking at? There's two different options and they just
I
differ
didn't
on
realize that
size?
they were
Two.
different in size, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine, I'm just trying to, one
I didn't have
has,
time to study, I was just given to us this evening.
looks like one has 28 spots and one has 42. Does that sound about right?
Mike, is there any preference on your part that you feel is better?
I think looking at it, I thought the one with the 42 made more sense.
Sense, but just the way they had it laid out,
Which would be option 2?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. So, do we have to move anything going the 175? It's just going down to,
We don't have to move anything.
okay. I'll go with the option 2.
Patty.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah, discussion.
Can we put a note along with the motion that if there is an overage, I guess not an overage, if our paving comes in lower than quoted to cover the parking lot, then towards the end of the year?
Otherwise, the road construction project will come, road construction for this year will come back to you guys next month or the month after. You could, at that point, once you look at all your projects, look and see what we have left, and then you could add that in.
Bring it back to the board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might make more sense just to do it then, because then you'll have everything laid out in front of you.
Yeah.
And you can still add it in as a, if there's money left over, or there might be enough too, so,
Mhm.
if that
Just
makes
add
sense.
to the list of
Yeah.
options.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess that's where I'd like to be too, is we're not
Yeah.
shutting down that option, but at least
Right.
we'll get
I
the
don't
base
wanna
work
shut
done,
Right.
knowing that it's probably gonna be June anyway before anything would happen with this. I'm guessing plans aren't up yet, or are they running yet?
As far as hot mix, yeah.
Okay.
It'll be, they'll start it and
Oh, probably the end of April here, middle of April, depending on what happens with the weather, so.
Okay. So shortly thereafter, we should know, kind of.
As far as that, but as far as the gravel, the sooner it gets in, the better we are, so.
Definitely. Okay.
So with this motion, then you would be in good shape because you could get started.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get started.
So could somebody read the motion back then? That's been amended.
Did you want to add, amend, or just leave it
No,
with?
just leave it the way that it was
So
originally.
to move forward with option 2, which is excavating and then gravel only, no blacktop at this point.
Correct.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. All right. Agenda item number 13, consideration and possible action on recommendation for part-time snowplow employees compensation provided at February 23rd, 2024 Personnel Committee meeting. So this is currently, they are making $17.99 an hour, and our recommendation is to increase it to $20 an hour.
And why was, can you tell me what the background of why the recommendation was at 20? What brought you?
Super low right now. 20 is even low, but we.
Yeah, well, do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Mike and I had talked about it a couple times over the past few months, just they don't get overtime, they don't get double pay, they don't get holiday pay, but yet they do come in at any hour of the day that Mike calls them. They're driving heavy machinery that they are required, CDL, drug tests. That $17.99 an hour just honestly is ridiculous, kind of. 20, like you said, 20 is still pretty low. They get no benefits, but Mike calls them and they're here, so.
Okay.
I
No.
make a motion for the increase in pay to the $20 an hour mark.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion? Bill, you have a comment?
Question. And do they don't have to carry insurance either, just workman's comp if they get hurt or something?
Okay. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. 14th agenda item is consideration and possible action on sale of town equipment.
And this is just, so 2 months ago, the town board had approved the mower going to Gov Deals. We got 0 bids on it, so we were thinking, try Wisconsin surplus and see what happens. I mean, it can't hurt.
Right.
With that one, it's a little bit different where you give the okay for me to put it on there, and then I would set the deadline for the next town board meeting that morning, and then you could approve the bids that night. So
Okay.
it works a little bit different than Gov Deals.
Didn't we have minimum start bid?
That was with Gov Deals, you set
Oh,
a minimum there.
okay.
But with Wisconsin surplus, the bids are just what they are, and then you approve them at the town board that night, and then I would let them know the next morning, so.
Okay.
One thing Wisconsin Surplus has started to do, I would assume it's with all customers, is the day before the auction, you review bids, and if you're
Oh,
okay with
so
them.
that's changed, okay, that would be nice.
Then,
Oh, well, maybe then just set a minimum like you did with Gov Deals, and then if we reach that minimum by the day before the board meeting, it really wouldn't even have to come back then if that's the case.
Well, I don't know if it was so much we did the minimum, but we had a starting bid. Well, for some reason, maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I thought we had,
It's been so long
we
since
wanted
did
to do a
surplus, I don't remember if
we had a
it's-
start bid versus,
That would
we'll
be a
accept.
minimum bid.
yeah,
What was that?
minimum
That
bid.
would be a minimum bid.
Yeah, if you want to put 5,000 as a minimum, I can
Yeah.
definitely, if there's a place for me to put that on there now.
Yes.
4 or 5, somewhere in there, I would say start. Yeah.
One advantage of that is you could start it basically at 0, and if you don't like the
You don't have to accept it.
You
the
don't have to.
$2,000 bid, you can reject it, and the
Mhm.
auction is then ended.
Yep. So whichever one.
I myself think it should be started lower.
Mhm.
That's my opinion.
Considering we got 0
Right.
bids.
And then we don't have to accept it.
You don't have to accept it.
Yeah, so if somebody just bids $500, we don't
They
have
don't
to
get
sell.
it.
Okay. Okay. I can go ahead and make that motion to approve putting it on the Wisconsin surplus site for bidding to end prior to our April meeting. and then have that on the agenda for our approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Agenda item number 15th is February disbursement vouchers. Any questions?
I do have some, and it's only because of the fact I don't know what the explanation was on them, so I'm not questioning the dollar amount, just asking what is it? So, it's on the paid invoice, page 1, actually. The very first line item for the Mac Queen equipment, the SCBA flow test face piece supply for $2,030.
The scuba,
Oh, that was for our annual fit testing, fit and flow testing.
Okay. Then I also had a question on page 5, the very first line item. Squad 1 mill had a $832 bill for a Squad 1 repair and an oil change.
$619.80.
Oh, $619.80?
That's me.
It's a fire truck.
Oh, sorry.
That's my truck.
It's your truck. So what happened that, does it cost that much for an oil change?
It was an oil change, a DOT inspection,
Oh,
and then we were having an issue with the regen on it, so then they hooked a computer up and forced a regen on it.
yeah, okay,
So,
that's understandable. And then, last was on page 9. I see that we bought, rolls of stamps. I thought we had a postage machine.
We do, but for absentees, we have to put a stamp on the inner envelope that goes out. So you're
Gotcha.
gonna see lots and lots of stamps.
Okay,
this year.
that's fine. I just didn't know if our postage machine was on the blink and
No,
we
we run
needed to take a look at
the
that.
outer envelope before we mail it. That gets ran through the postage, but we're required to put a stamp on the inner for them to mail it back to us.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions.
Okay. Agenda item number 16, operator license applications.
I can make a motion to approve the 1-year operator applications for Michelle Christie, Tyson Olson.
Is there a second?
That's it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All of those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Agenda item number 17, monthly reports from committees, Public Works. We have everything here that we had at that meeting. Airport Commission.
March 7th, Airport Commission met. Again, you probably get tired of hearing about the master plan, but it is in progress and contracts are out. There's a 4 to 6 week timeline for some of the contracts to start coming in for the base part of that plan. But, as a high point of that, again, the master plan is required by the Bureau of Aeronautics for any large upgrades, renovations, etc. Puts you in qualification for federal funding. Secondly, there was a motion or a suggestion made by the airport manager that the current part-time employee at the airport be moved and placed into a full-time status, a full-time position. And that did approve the commission 4-0, and then onward to the city council, and that did pass its first round last night, I believe. There will be no cost. The cost to the city is about $46,000, and that's benefits and obviously another 20 or so hours of weekly pay. That will not affect our contributions or our payments to the airport on our, as far as town of Grand Rapids. And that's really about it. They're looking forward to another crazy season with fuel sales and doing the golf course. And next meeting, scheduled for April 4th, 2024.
Okay. Recycling, solid waste, and water.
We will be meeting on Tuesday, the 19th at 6 o'clock. Tim Miller from Waste Management will be there. I plan on just wrapping up our annual report, which our annual meeting is April 16th at 6 o'clock. And then we're going to discuss the recycling cooperative agreement that we have with the city, and that's about it.
Okay. Plan commission.
We met on Monday. It was a healthy agenda. We reviewed 3 dog exemptions. We did 2 certified survey maps. We had a chicken permit. We approved a sign permit, also a conditional use permit for a wild game butchering business, and then also a zoning permit for a carport. That's it.
Thank you. Public buildings, we did not meet. Legislative, we didn't meet, but any comments?
We haven't, but if
Can
you
we
all
meet?
could check your calendars, you should probably see if we can put a date out there. Wondering if maybe the 25th or 26th might be, or sometime that week,
I'm out of town that whole week.
too.
that whole week?
Spring break,
Okay.
yeah.
18, 19 prior.
18
No.
and 19 would be out for me.
29, 30.
Trying to think if the 20th, what
Well,
did you?
30 probably wouldn't work for me, sorry.
Wait, 30?
It's a Saturday.
That's a Saturday.
April 2024.
When is it?
No, March.
Oh, March, oh, sorry.
I'm trying to find a date that is before the next town board meeting.
I know.
So there can be so we're not
Okay.
delaying things another month.
I could do
Maybe
it.
the 20th?
I can't do the 20th, but if you guys,
I have a
can do
meeting
minutes
at
the next-
5.
As long as you record it, I can do the minutes the next day, it's fine. I'm out of town, so.
21st.
21st would be out for me.
And when
22nd
did
is
you
an
say,
option.
22nd?
I guess if you.
I'm okay with
on a
22nd.
Friday.
I'm already with the 22nd.
Oh,
I'm already out of
She's
town.
gone.
Oh,
I mean, I don't need to be there for the legislative, it's recorded. If,
True.
Nick, if you're okay with that.
25th,
Just fine.
26th, 27th, and 29th, I don't know.
All would be open for me too, but I think there's up.
That's-
yeah,
Yeah,
that's the week Amber's on vacay.
Where you going? We'll come there.
Florida.
It's not in the budget.
We're in, we're in.
Move that first week of April, or?
Election
First week of
Tuesday,
April.
court
yeah,
Wednesday.
About the only day would be Tuesday, and that's not gonna be an option, so.
Go with the 20th.
If you don't want to wait, you're gonna have to do it the 20th, yeah.
Let's do the 20th. I'm in. 20th?
Sure.
March 20th.
Yeah, what
I'm
time?
okay with
What
that.
time?
Bill,
I
what
can-
time are you done?
I can be, oh, March 20th. What time can you be there?
What time you want it for?
Well, you have 5, right?
Yes.
So if we did 6:30, 7 o'clock? I mean,
Good.
that's getting late, I know, but.
6:30 is all right.
6:30?
6:30 it is.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so I will get agendas out very shortly. Just know that some of the packet materials are going to be a little bit of time because we will need to do a traffic and speed study to get that speed limit item on there. So
Yeah,
I've got it
that's true.
as a placeholder for now, but we're going to need to put together some documentation before I can get that in your packet materials.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is that enough time?
I was gonna say,
Is
that's
that
pretty
enough?
fast.
Yeah.
That's a week
Uh,
from now.
We are going to, I'll talk to Mike, I'll see what we can do. I don't know, so I think there had been previous studies on that other stretch, so
Yeah,
we're
that.
having a discussion about what might exist there, and we will do what we can to try to get some data.
So if we can't get it done before that, though, would we need to have another one before April town board? Because we'd want to get the 45th Street stuff wrapped up.
Yeah, or you, or at the legislative, you make a decision to just get that ordinance to board and review the speed study and the ordinance right at the town board meeting. So we can review the ordinance, in other words. You may not be able to move on the ordinance until the town board, and if we can have it done by then, it'll give a little bit more time. Well, at a minimum, we'll be able to give you an update on that.
Okay, got it. Okay. Public safety?
Just, we had a conversation with Bob earlier. He was explaining to me that some of his budget purchases are in place. He's found some an excellent helmet for less money. We approved new helmets for his firefighters. He mentioned Easter egg hunt, which is always a good gathering. Due to the extreme dry conditions, the DNR has requested everyone to be basically ready to go and elaborate, possibly Bob, but historic all-time earliest start date ever to have brush trucks ready to go.
Yeah, we were asked a few weeks ago to get it filled. We've been out 3 or 4 times with them. But yeah, we believe it's gonna be an extended fire season if we don't start getting some moisture. So fire danger today was very high. I've been posting stuff on Facebook every day. You can call 1-800-ISPERT-WISPERN. You can go on the DNR websites, get all the regional fire conditions. But it's, it's winding up to not be a good, not be a good fire season, so. Yeah.
He also made mention that batteries were replaced in the siren, the warning siren at 64th and South Park, with a bunch of help from the Public Works guys. And he also wanted to commend those guys and Mike for the ongoing help that they have given them. It's been a pleasure. The Griffith siren batteries read okay, and parts have been ordered for the siren over by Donahue's that we approved repair on, if we recall from the budget. And he's got a gun raffle coming up, along with the Easter egg hunt for a couple of fundraisers, so that's all.
All right, economic development, we didn't meet. Personnel, some of the items were in here, and then we'll go into closed session for the other one. And WTA meeting.
WTA meeting was February 16th at the town of Cameron. The speakers were Chad Schooley, Parks and Forest Director, and Wood County, Roland Hawks from the Wood County Highway Commissioner was there. And Chad Schooley, of course, gave an update on Powers Bluff and the county park. And Roland Hawks discussed the small bridge program and the ag RIP. And I want to tell you, it was a very lengthy discussion. LRIP and ag RIP is, the RIP stands for Road Improvement Plan, and the program funding for it to go out and have the bridges looked at. There's a county is willing to do that, but you have to make an agreement with them. And several state representatives were present. Steve Dickerson was there from the WTA Board of Directors, and he spoke on the LRIP grants and program, and they're moving along fast. We don't have anybody on the LRIP program for Wood County. I mean, from the town of Grand Rapids. And the town of Perry will be the host for the March 15th meeting, and the speaker will be Matt Souza, and he'll be talking about ATVs. And I just want to say, I'm the only one that attends these meetings, and I want just to know that the Wisconsin Towns Association started in 1947 with Ben Hanneman, who used to be the town chairman for this town. He started this. And just to let you know, another thing is June 21st is Grand Rapids' term.
This June?
Yes, June 20, yes. June 21st, Grand Rapids. Next one we have is Camel, and then we have Dexter, Grand Rapids, Hanson, Hiles, Lincoln, Marshfield, and Miller. That's it. Any questions? Thank you.
Reports from individual town board members. Jeff, do you have anything?
Nothing. Ed?
Jason?
I talked enough, thank you.
Patty?
No, thank you.
And
I have some things to talk about. One of them is the signing on, and maybe Mike, you know about this, is Abbey Lane. First of all, on Abbey Lane at 2640, where it was dug in with the plow.
Yep,
You have been contacted on that.
I have not yet, but we are going to go around and fix all those spots.
Yes, there's quite a few of them, but this one here, I understood that you met with the person.
Never talked to anybody, they never called.
Yeah, I'll call him a liar. Okay,
Nobody's called here.
and then the other one I'd like to go over with you is, Julie, what is that? That we had a call on? Eastwood and Westwood. But there's no sign that says when you go on Eastwood, there is on Westwood. And there's that circle drive right in there where Marlon Schneider used to live in that town, in that subdivision.
No, street sign you mean right there?
Yeah, you need a street sign there to say now you're on East or you're on West.
Okay.
I have a picture of it, I'll show you it later.
All right.
Okay. And that's all I have.
okay. All right, agenda item number 19, public input. People wishing to address the board will be limited to 2 minutes each, with public input limited to a total of 16 minutes. Sure.
Luke Bosler, of course. I never come here to talk, but I always talk. This is my new kind of thing. I enjoy seeing you guys doing your job. It's cool. I wouldn't want to do it. But I see a few things now the last little bit. I saw $30,000 walk out the door of decisions that were not everything was known. The first one was the transmission thing. Could have been a good thing, could have been a bad thing. We don't know how many engine hours were on it. The second one was the free gravel. Apparently we have free gravel now. I would like some free gravel. We have already paid for it, yes, but we have to pay to get it again. Is it 100 yards of gravel, 200 yards of gravel? A dump truck is basically 10 yards of gravel, so many dump trucks. We have to buy this gravel. So you guys didn't know the whole information again. And then we're paying your guy $20 an hour to plow. It should be 25. We have to teach him how to do that. If we lose that guy, we have to pay to teach another person. This guy's should be more. We're spending our monies not smartly. It should be more for him. I have a budget in my house. Do I want to put a whim to put a parking lot in? I know you've been talking about it for a while, but I think it's silly to just say, well, let's just go do it because gravel's free. And here we are. We're just doing it. Nobody's better than I. I think it's silly. I don't have a problem with a parking lot, but maybe more for the people and less for, yeah, done.
Tim Bruns, 4720 Falcon Court. Again, I would like to thank the board for their motion and their approval for removing the barricades on 45th Street. And I appreciate the time that the board has invested in listening to the residents of Black Forest and Blueberry. I may be a little slow, I just missed a little bit of that. Wonder if you could either slow walk me through the legislative committee is meeting on the 20th. Is that what? So I know Mr. Clendenning raised the question as to why, and I think it came up at a previous listening session as well, why couldn't this just be removed now and signage and speed limit at a later date and time? I think you've made the decision that you're going to follow your process. Could you just clarify, because it is of great interest to those people in these two subdivisions, as to when you might anticipate that coming to a conclusion? So if it goes to the legislative committee on the 20th, and then that recommendation goes forward to the board, would we be of the belief and understanding that possibly at the April meeting, this would be on your agenda for a recommendation, a motion, and approval, when the barricades might be expected to be removed shortly thereafter? Would that be
That's accurate.
the process?
Yes. Yep.
Just want to make sure that misinformation doesn't go out to a number of residents out here who are kind of patiently awaiting and watching and listening to the process. And again, thank you for your approval, that change will eventually be happening.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I guess I have,
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
I guess I
Oh,
have.
Can you, sir, can you just state your name,
Oh,
please,
sure,
and
Roger
your address?
Zoltan, I'm at 4520 Black Forest.
Thank you.
So I guess I still have questions about some of the intent behind the closure of 45th. When it talks about safety concerns and or a continued study on how many people take that route. I don't know that it really matters how many people actually turn at 45th and go over at 48th, as long as it's safe. As long as people aren't, it isn't causing a safety issue on Wazeecha, K, or any of those intersections. If you're slowing everything down free, they're taking the turn, they're coming off, they're stopping and going through. What does it really matter how many people are going through there and avoiding the roundabout? It's not the intent to, oh, we gotta force everybody that's not going to those subdivisions. It's making sure that it's safe. And that, I think we're doing based on changing the speed limits before and through it. And if everybody wants to slow down to go through there, so what? As long as they aren't having accidents.
Thank you. Sure.
Craig Baziner, Grand Forest Drive. I got a couple things on the parking lot. I see you're all looking at a blueprint. Is that a blueprint of the parking lot that was drawn up for the parking lot at some time?
Yeah.
Okay, so did we budget for that blueprint? Who drew the blueprint? When did we budget for a blueprint? How did that all come about? Did we budget for that sometime? Because engineering costs quite a bit. Just wondered if that was done sometime. Is there a stormwater drainage permit that has to be done? I don't know if the town has to do those or not, but everything I build needs to have a stormwater drainage permit where the water from the stormwater goes. After you pave or do a blacktop, you gotta put a ditch in, you gotta have a retention pond, you gotta have something. Anybody talked about that? We just throw it in and don't worry about it till later, or we are excluded from that because we're a town. Don't know about that. Is there, there is a cost associated with just throwing gravel into an area. We paid for that gravel, like Luke said, we paid for that gravel somewhere along the line. Now we have to pick it up again and truck it over to the site. We have to do all this. Mike said, well, you're paying me, I might as well do it. Well, we also need to look at it as a budget. How much is this parking lot gonna be costing us in the long run? Because, you know, do you wanna take some bids on it? Do you wanna look at the long run, how this thing's gonna work? I mean, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered before you just throw a parking lot. At least I know around this area, I've worked on parking lots my whole life, and there's things that seem to be excluded in it unless it's already approved in your drawings. Your blueprints that you had drawn by somebody that we already paid for, that's also in the budget. It's just not a $24,000 parking lot. It's a lot more expensive than that. Is there anything else that needs to be included in that? Striping, there's a ton of stuff there. I know our town can do the work, hey, all for it if we have time to do those things, but is that where we want to put our money into putting in our town people building a little parking lot here when they could be out
I don't cut, whatever else they do, I'm sure Mike's guys have a lot to do. If he's just sitting around doing nothing, then we need to look at getting rid of some guys. But I know that's not true. I know that's not the way Mike does stuff, so that's not a cut on you, Mike. But I just think we need to look at things like Lucas said. You just, okay, let's just do it. But is all that stuff taken care of? And I don't know, nobody knows that. Does anybody on the board know? Do we have to have the stormwater drainage permit? Do we have to, you know, how much is it gonna cost to truck the gravel over here? It's not free gravel. How much is it gonna cost to place that gravel? How much are we gonna pay to compact it? Who's gonna grade it for when we put the blacktop down? Those are all costs that are all included in that, so I think that needs to be considered. As far as the traffic, Mr. Warren, you seem to always want people going through the roundabout. You made a comment that you'd like to open it back up if there's excessive traffic. Can you explain to me what you meant by excessive traffic on 45th Street? Because I look at it this way, if you turn and come towards our subdivision, I can turn left and take a shortcut over to my friend's house over there on 45th, going into the other subdivisions on the other side, but we haven't blocked off that one. Instead of making them go through the roundabout, coming all the way back like we have to, I think that, you know, there's consideration. What do we say? Oh, there's 4 accidents there. Were they coming off 45th this way? Were they coming off 46? How is that reported? How is the town going to take those accidents? How are they going to do it? I think there's a lot of things you got to talk about, think about, besides just throwing a general statement out there saying, hey, if there's more traffic on that street, we're going to open it back up. That's a pretty generalized statement. So I don't know by your traffic studies, how you're going to do it. What's the number that is a number that says, hey, there's way more traffic than we want on that street? And why do we close the street? Because there's too many traffic on it. So, you know, that's the other question I had.
Any other comment? Okay. All right, agenda item number 20 is future agenda items.
Just related to what Patty had given as an update to the Plan Commission, there will be a conditional use permit hearing and resolution for that. I will make sure that you have a copy of that by the end of this week. Yep. And then there'll be a number of legislative committee agenda items because we don't approve any of those ordinances at legislative committee. They all come to the town clerk.
Okay. All right, agenda item number 21, the town board may go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility for the purpose of reviewing treasurer and municipal court clerk working agreement and recommendation from the personnel committee.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, roll call, Bill.
Aye.
Patty.
Aye.
Jason.
Here.
Jeff.
Aye.
And myself, aye.